Okay, welcome back to the Motivated Melanin podcast. We are back for another season. This is the number one podcast for all things entrepreneurship, beauty, and lifestyle. And we talk about ways to grow, build, and just be excellent in life. So we're back with a co-host this season. We have Coach Yamika Leeper-Stephens.
Yes, yes.
And Yamika, I'm gonna let her tell you about herself, but let me remind you who I am. I am Angela, Coach Angela, business coach to beauty pros. You know, I coach a lot of businesses, but beauty is my passion. I try to take care of my people that provide beauty services or anything in the beauty arena. It could be health, it could be wellness, it can be therapy, it can be whatever. Beauty is broad, right? So I try to take care of those and take care of others because sometimes they forget about themselves. But in the process, we run up against life and they run up against life. And that's why we're here for another season. Because people been asking me, where are you? Do another podcast, interview me, right? So I've been doing this since 2019. So you can catch past episodes. But this season, we're going to be talking about a lot of things from business to business etiquette to motivation to inspiration. We're going to have guests. Sometimes it's going to be us. Sometimes it's going to be three of us, four of us. It doesn't matter. We're back for another season and we're on video. All of it won't be video, but we are on video. And we're glad to be back. And if you're watching this, thank you. We love you. Appreciate you. And I'm going to let you, Yamika, introduce herself.
Hello, hello, hello. Thank you, and Coach. And
Thank you,
all right,
Coach.
for inviting me into your space for Motivated Melanin.
Thank you.
I'm excited. I'm
You should be.
excited for this season.
Thank you.
I'm
You should
excited for
be.
you. I'm excited for me. I'm excited for us because
She forced me to do this, y'all.
Yes,
But anyway,
I kind of did. And it's so out of my element because
it
I'm not
is.
a video tech person, but we're pushing the needle. We've
Okay.
pushed the button. So we're going to keep moving forward. All
Okay.
right. As we motivate each other, all right, to go into elevated heights,
Right.
for our personal
Right.
growth, our business growth, and interpersonal relationships, because we do have a relationship
We
and
do. We
we
do.
want people to see that we have an authentic,
Yes.
relationship.
Yes.
And I love it. She
And
holds me
relationships
to
are important. Relationships are
absolutely,
important.
absolutely. She holds me accountable and she tells me like, girl, you wrong.
You wrong,
And
girl.
I share it back.
She tell me when I'm wrong. She listened to my stuff up. I put a post up on Facebook yesterday, and I said, leaders get led too, right?
Absolutely, they do.
People forget. I get 500 calls a day of ways to like, can I build my business? Or I got this relationship problem, or I'm struggling with this, or I'm struggling with that, and life is life, and I'm quitting this, I'm quitting that.
Hmm.
Even down to parents, and yeah, I'm a black mama, by the way. I'm a black mother, by the way. So
Yeah.
I raised three children. I think what's in let me say this. I think what's most important for me in this season is to let people know that I've been in places that I have not wanted to be in, right? I didn't
Mhm.
wake up today and decide I was going to start a business. I didn't wake up today with everything intact. Like I've been 18 and wait a minute, hold on. I've been 16 and 18 and 21 and 25 and 30. I've been there, right? And I've had to make decisions as a single woman. I've had to make decisions as a single parent. I've been married. People say, "Oh, you've been married before?" Yes, I was married for 10 years, so I know about marriage. I know about divorce. Um, I don't dwell on those things in my everyday life. So people just feel like I woke up like this. Even my kids, I woke up like this. I did not wake up like this, guys. Okay. It took work, it took dedication, it took me rewriting my story, it took me having to pivot, it took me having to go back and do things that I didn't want to do,
Hmm.
right? That allowed me to move forward. So that's why we're here this season.
Yeah, it's the shift,
It's
right?
the shift. It's the
Yeah,
shift.
either you're gonna stay on the board, on the boat,
Stay on the boat.
stay on the boat and ride it,
Stay on the boat and ride it.
or fall off and drown. That
Yeah,
can happen.
you only gonna fall off and drown. I can promise you. Like if you don't stay on the boat, you gonna fall off and drown.
You'll
That's just
fall
the
off and
bottom
drown.
line. Like my delivery is crazy, right? You have to know me to understand my delivery, but my delivery is truth, right? And I have to tell people this all the time. You may not like how I say something, but it's only going to be the truth. It's
Well,
only gonna be the
truth is
truth.
most effective, and if
I
it
like
still
that.
hurts, you might not be ready. And same with
Oh, I
me.
like that.
So
I like
I'll
that.
share a little bit,
Okay.
of what I do. I am a coach. I'm more of a lifestyle coach
I'm a
for,
business coach.
yes, a lifestyle coach for YLS coaching, which is befitting because YLS is actually my name, Yamika Leeper-Stephens, but that wasn't intentional. It just fits well. It's for your lifestyle coaching.
And I love that.
And my approach is to health and wellness, but I have a physical approach on how I coach, where I incorporate the physical needs of the body to incorporate the mind and body. Most people know me as the yoga lady. I do incorporate yoga into my coaching practice.
And the spinning lady.
Yes, and the spinning lady. Other physical aspects of being physically fit, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally as well. So my approach to coaching is a holistic approach where you may come to me with a want. I'm only going to address your need. Okay. So you may come to me for, I want a weight loss. And after I assess you, I'm going to say, hold on, we're going to get to the reason why you're coming to me. So your want becomes your need, and that's what I address.
Okay.
I address the need and not the want. From my experience, the want is temporary because we want to address the things that are temporary. We really don't want to go through. All right. So there's a temporary need or want we want to address, but I address the long term. What's the long term solution? Right. Let's look at the behavioral solutions to the approach of being healthy, losing weight, being mentally and emotionally sound, and living in a rational, sound body.
Say rational.
Rational.
The word of the day.
rational and sound body. So that's my approach to coaching. And I am truthful and honest. And I usually tell my the ones who have the interest, who's connecting to me, you have to be ready because I'm gonna give you some truth. I may not be your point of reference, or I may not be your desired coach. But if you want to go through the process and being patient with yourself, not me, but it's being patient with yourself, let's roll together.
Yeah. We live in a time where still they want instant gratification, and things take time.
Yeah.
I mean, life takes time. I mean, even though I say life is short, it still takes time. So you have to be patient with yourself, patient with the process of whatever you trying to, your goals. Hopefully you guys write down goals, but we'll get to that in another session. But yeah, patience, being rational. Um, Even kid, I take this back. Like we're so impatient, or we're so impatient that the kids are impatient. And let's say this for an example. They had their iPad. They're iPad trained, right? The iPads are babysitting. The electronics are babysitting the kids. Let's be honest. So when the iPad dies, right? They don't even have the patience to plug it up for a minute, right? Soon as the kid plugs it up, and I've seen this because I have grandkids. Soon as they plug it up and it turns back on, they immediately take it off the charger.
Can't wait.
And they can't wait. They can't wait for it to charge. It's back on, and I'm about to play with it, and it dies again in 2 seconds. So they learn from you, right? So if you're impatient, they're impatient, and it's just across the board for kids. So you guys have to learn patience as an adult, so you can pass it to your children as well. If that makes sense.
Makes sense. Makes total sense.
But watch your kid with an iPad. They're not gonna let it charge. They don't have any patience. You say, "Oh, be patient," but you're not patient. They learn it from you. Kids, it's a learned behavior. Whatever your kids do it's a learned behavior. But yeah, I want to say that.
Okay.
But this episode, we wanted to just kind of come in, introduce ourselves, and we want to give some motivation.
Oh,
Motivation for you to keep going, for you to rewrite your story, stay on the boat, not drown. That's a good one. Stay on
stay
the
on the
boat
boat.
or fall off and
Fall
drown,
up, drown.
right?
Yeah.
I have people call me literally every day. I'm just gonna give up. I want to do something different. Um, I want to go in a different direction. I want to pivot. What you gotta say about that, Yamika?
What you just said. We gotta learn patience.
Yes.
What they want,
Mm-hmm.
they're not experiencing the full process of how to get it. So they want it so fast
Mm-hmm.
that they can't actually project or even see, how to get there. So their solution
Oh, I like
is,
that.
I need to do something else.
Yeah, because it's not. I didn't get to. I had a
Yeah.
goal to get here in 30 days, and I didn't
Yeah.
reach the goal.
Yeah.
So now I'm gonna just
Yeah.
jump off the boat
Yeah.
and try something totally different.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So would that mean they have expectations that they didn't meet themselves?
Okay.
I mean, it could
Yeah.
be.
Mm-hmm.
And how realistic
Was
were
it in the
those?
first place?
Yeah. How realistic
How
were
realistic were
those
the goal in the first place?
expectations? Yeah.
So I try to train my clients because I deal with a lot of people in business, and business is not easy by all means,
Oh,
right?
Lord, it
And
sure
I
ain't.
try to teach them number one
Mm-mm.
to let's get your mindset together. Let's plan your day. Let's write these goals out. Like that's just the three core things, right?
Mhm.
Mindset, goal planning, setting
Setting
goals,
goals.
goal planning,
Mhm.
right? That's like the core things. Like they never want to do that. I
Mhm.
always say, plan your day, plan your day, plan your day. But you can
Mhm.
have time. You can have time. You can see how much time you
Mhm.
have, right?
So in that case, we're talking about motivation here. They're setting themselves up to even not have motivation and keep the motivation, nor to do the practice to sustain the motivation.
Because they're not doing the
So,
core
because they're
things.
not doing the core things. And what is actual true motivation? What do you say motivation is in your words
Ooh,
and how you understand
ooh,
it? Now, I don't want to go by what textbook definition
right.
of motivation is because we're influenced through by motivation of other things that are we surround ourselves in our
Or other
lives
people.
or other people.
Mhm.
So motivation can have different definition for each individual person. So Coach Ange, what
Ooh.
is motivation? What does
Ooh.
that mean to you?
Ooh. What does it mean to me? That's a good question. Um, I grew up in a different time. We didn't kind of use the word motivation, right? It was more like I don't think it was the word. I think it was more like this is what you have to do, right? And if you want something, you either you're gonna commit to doing it or you're not gonna commit to it. I think committed is a better word for my generation, right? Either you're gonna commit to it
I
or you're
agree.
not gonna commit to it,
Mhm.
right? We didn't have a lot of people pushing us to do anything. It was like either you want it or you don't, right? You're gonna do the work to get it or you're not, right? I didn't have 1,000 friends or a Facebook group, right?
Mhm.
Or a daily prayer call,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
That's gonna say, "Hey, girl, I'm here to remind you that you said that you was gonna do this, and you haven't done it yet."
Okay.
Right? You haven't reached that goal. So I think committed is a better word for my generation. Like motivation is huge, and guess in this generation, but for me it was more like committed. And you have this goal. Let's go back to high school. Let's go back to high school. When you in
Okay.
high school,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
When you're in high school, they put you on this path. You got 4 years and you have to get these credits every year, right? If
Mhm.
you're going to be committed to your schoolwork to get these credits, or you're not going to be committed, you're going to fall behind and you're not going to graduate, right? It's either
Mhm.
like you're going to do this every year till you get to be a senior, you're going to graduate, or you're not,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
That's all we kind of had, right?
Okay, so from your definition, you said either you wanted to do what you had to do or you didn't.
Or you didn't.
So internally, you knew you did it because you knew what you had to do to get it, to
Right.
complete it.
And I stay committed
Okay,
to
and you
do
stayed
to do
committed.
it.
So that made you successful in completion.
It did.
Okay.
I'm a very disciplined person, but I had to make myself disciplined, right? What made me disciplined was I wanted it so bad,
And
right?
that's the key, is you wanted it.
Right.
Okay. So how I see motivation is in two ways.
Okay.
You can have intrinsic motivation, means internal motivation, where there's something in you that's guiding you to keep going.
Okay.
You do some self-talk without understanding and knowing what
And
you
that's
want
more
to do.
so what we
And
came up
that,
with.
yes, that is
Intrinsic. Okay.
intrinsic.
Intrinsic motivation.
Intrinsic. Now these are my definitions.
Okay. But I like that. It makes
But
sense.
yes. So from your definition, you had an internal self-value that lets you understand, I had to do this
To get to
to
this.
get to this.
Right. It's
right?
no shortcut.
Right.
This is what you
There's
got to
no
do.
shortcut.
Yes.
So there's no way around it.
Right.
So I am driven.
Mhm.
I am internally connected
Mhm.
to understand that I need to do this.
Yeah. Yes.
That's internal
Yes.
motivation.
That's
Intrinsic motivation. Why am I saying intrinsic? It's your internal self,
Right.
where you understand that there's no other way. I am motivated, or I am driven, or I'm disciplined, because with motivation does come discipline. True, right? True, and commitment. True, all of those things. That's
that's why I said the word.
Your
that's
drive
the word
up.
That's the word. But, that's what when I think of motivation in my day, it's like I'm committed to what I said I'm gonna do. Right. And I'll take a life story. When I moved to another city, and I was like, when I go to this city, right? And I got 3 kids at this point. When I go to this city, my goal when I go to this city is I'm going to get a job. And during these hours, I'm gonna go to school and to college. I'm gonna finish my degree. This is what I'm gonna do. I mean, the plan was laid out I'm laid that plan out for myself when I moved, right? And I stayed committed to that plan until I got finished. The plan didn't end for 2 years, right? But I still stayed committed to the plan. I still had road bumps, right? The job I wanted didn't fall through at the right time. I had housing became issues. I still stayed committed to the end goal, and that allowed me to have my career. Yes.
So you were motivated. You were self-motivated. All right. Self-motivation is what I call intrinsic motivation, because you have the self-value.
Yes.
That you're going to uphold yourself to the things that you self-committed to, which I have those things.
Yeah,
I have those things as well. But there's a difference, because I had external motivation, meaning I had people in my life that encouraged and motivated me. But what trumps the external motivation is the true self-motivation, because you have to have a belief system that you are capable and valuable enough to do these things.
Yes.
So self-motivation sometimes trump the external motivation. Now, I'm not going to negate or undermine the self-motivation factor, because some of us may not have it, because some of us may not have the self-belief system, to understand.
That comes with your environment. Like I had a family support system too, but for the most part, like in my time when I grew up, like either your parents say you're gonna do this, or this is gonna happen, right? Or you're gonna do this, or this. Not to say they didn't support you, but they're gonna say you go to college, you get a job, all that stuff. So a different time. Now we got all these mentors and.
But the mentors are great, because those are important for those who are not self-motivated. Those external factors
that's
are so important.
They need it now.
Now, I had them even when my own self-belief wasn't there. They were so much more intricate in how I thought and how I approached things. So when I didn't have it, that's when I reached out to those things, those sources. It can be people, but also can be a place, because that place can harness a welcoming space for you to actually absorb what it is that you need to feel for motivation. That can be a motivation source as well. So, I would say for me, I just knew I just needed to do something.
Yeah.
Whether I had the belief system or not, because there were times where I didn't believe it. But if you have people constantly pouring into you, it's going to fill you up where you're actually, well, if she said it, he said it, and they all said it, then
but what? Okay, you got all these people pouring into you, right?
Mhm.
And you don't have. Let's say you don't have a belief, but you had people pouring into you, and they telling you what you should or shouldn't do. Let's say you even paying for. I have people that pay me, right, to basically line stuff out for them, and then they don't listen.
That just means they're not ready.
And that's true.
You're not gonna absorb things you're not ready for. That's just what it is. And if you're listening, if you're constantly paying people
or even reaching out
to people and you're not really serious, one, you're wasting your time and your money. And well, you're not. I know it because I'm not one. I'm not gonna take your money if I know you're not serious. I say you can go to somewhere else.
But sometimes people get stay committed and then life, and then they can't handle life, right? Something comes in, and let's say it's a life issue, whatever the life issue is, whatever your life issue is, put it in this place. You have a life issue. Life is going to life, right? You have to learn how to move around certain aspects of your life. So what do you have? They have a life issue and they jump off the boat and drown.
Just got to be patient. And not everybody is going to see that life is lifing, or, life is happening. And we come across, those persons.
I'm not a therapist. Disclaimer.
But it's, I always rule them back to, how do you see yourself getting out of drowning water?
Okay.
Do you see the lifeboat?
Yeah.
All right. Do you see the life jacket?
Are you going to put on the life jacket?
Well, they have to see it to put it on. They first have to see it.
Look at it.
Because if you, right, you have to woosah. Because if you can't see it, is it my due diligence to help you see it? Okay. Is it my job as a coach? And I'm a lifestyle coach. At this point, it's my job, of my opportunity to throw that lifeline and for me to draw into patience. With the person that I'm working with, because they cannot see it, but they're so serious, about their journey. It's the seriousness.
Yeah, you have to be so serious.
And that's part of that motivation. When you're serious about it, there's that internal button turns on, the intrinsic part of you, that where you say, I am enough. Yeah, and I am valuable enough,
and I'm worthy,
and and you're worthy, and you deserve it. Oh, okay. Next session. Yeah. So, do you see it? I see the life jacket. Yeah. Okay. So, what is the next step? Yeah. I'm going to put it on. What is the next step? Yeah. I'm going to swim to the boat. What is the next step? I'm going to climb on the boat. What's the next step? Yeah. I'm going to do the work.
Yeah. Yeah. Because nobody's going to do the work for you.
No one's going to do the work.
I'm not going to do the work for you. Don't call me, because I'm not going to do the work for you. I'm going to tell you how to do the work. Either you're going to do the work or you're not going to do the work. So one thing that I think changed the trajectory of my coaching, and I'm very compassionate, right? I probably could work on my sympathy and my empathy a little, but I'm very compassionate, right? I'm going to help you, right? As long as you helping you, right? I'm not going to help you and it's pushback. Like, don't call me to help you when you really don't want my help, right? Because I'm only going to help you so much anyway. But one thing that changed my coaching, and I've been coaching probably, almost like 8-9 years now. I went from career coaching to business coaching. So I still get a lot of people call me about career coaching too. But I do business coaching now. But one thing that I stopped doing was working with disempowered people. And that's what kind of changed the course of my business. And not to say that I can't help you, but I mean, you have to be, you have to know some level of your worth. Some level. Like, I can instill things in you, but I only can instill so much. You have to, I match energy. Right? You show me what you have, I'll tell you how to go higher. Right? That's kind of how I operate. And on this level, like I'm not gonna say wasted. I learned that people will waste your time, right? But and not so much waste. Maybe that's not a good word. I'm a word killer. not so much waste your time, but I spent so much time convincing people that they were worth it instead of allowing them to realize that they were worth it.
Hmm.
Does that make sense?
It does. It does. And you have to think of it in more of a, I always say there's always a positive
Okay.
in something. So um when they're ready,
Hmm.
you just know that you're always on cue because your
Yes.
motto also is
Yes.
being ready.
When you're ready,
Yeah,
I'm here for
yeah,
you.
yeah,
But when
yeah,
you're ready,
yeah. But in my
when you're
case,
ready.
I don't waste time because I'm not gonna start. Period.
Well, I think I had such a big a compassion for people to win.
Hmm.
So I have the ability, I have this gift, right? Where I can see somebody in where they're really supposed to be on their
Hmm.
higher self before they can even see it. So I try to pour into them, and they're not ready. So I even try to pour the
Yeah,
tools to get them
yeah,
ready. And I had to learn, like I had to pull back. When you're ready, cue me.
yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
it's
Cue the
important.
cue the
It's
coach
it,
when you're
but
ready
that's
instead of me
and
getting
it's
you ready.
important for you to constantly have,
Mhm.
you and I myself as a business coach, or lifestyle or life coach, to keep our motivation up and
Yeah.
sustaining that.
Leaders get
So
led.
right, and
Yeah.
coach each other.
Yeah.
And and in my case, if someone's not ready, there's a conversation that's had. I said, maybe not at this time,
Yeah.
but I'm going to still speak something to you. But just reach out at any time.
Yeah. And I kind of said it in a nice way,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I'm gonna give you a
Reach out
couple
at
of
any
tasks to
time.
do.
Yeah,
If
yes,
if you're not ready for me, I
yeah,
say I got some
yeah,
homework for you. If you
yeah.
complete this homework, then you might be ready for
Hmm.
me. If you don't complete that, you're not ready for me. So
Hmm.
that's kind of how I gauge my
Yeah,
clients instead
because
of saying you ain't for me.
right, and in a sense, you have to be motivated enough to be ready for them
That's
as
true.
well. Motivation and sustainability works both
Yeah.
ways. That client may not be ready for you, but are you actually ready for
Yeah.
that client? Because that
Hmm.
client can actually
Hmm.
give you the ruffle of the feathers that you don't even know that's coming. So that's
Yeah.
why it's important for you both to be ready, but
Hmm.
more important for us to stay
Yeah.
motivated in the things that we endeavor and the things that we are charged to
That's true.
do to
That's true.
assist those who are actually looking at us, in coaching and leadership roles and mentoring
That's right.
roles and mother roles and sister
Hmm.
roles and all of these roles that we
All of
we
these
have,
roles. Yeah.
that are important for others'
Hmm.
perspective or us. So
Yeah.
how do you sustain your motivation?
How do I sustain? So I get coached too. Like I have people that I get coached by. I invest. Just people invest in me. I invest in people too to keep me, where I need to be. Teach me things. Keep me grounded. Yamika, I'm like, let's do lunch, right? This from
Hmm.
coach to coach.
Hmm.
Um, Even like coaches that coach me that I think are in higher spaces than me. I have meetings with them, just even on a personal level, to stay motivated. And I always try to be. Oh, this is a conversation I had with someone. They're not my client, but we got a lot of roles as coaches, right?
Yes.
So I had a conversation with someone this morning about the company that you keep, right? You a person like you put in all this work to elevate yourself, right? You put in all this work to make a living for yourself, right? And then you go and you one mistake can cost you everything if you're not around the right people,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And I know that your friends and you've heard the saying success is lonely, right? It can
It can
be.
be.
It can be. I'm not gonna lie, it can be because you have to be careful about who you sitting at the table with. You got to be careful who you going out with, right? Who
Hmm.
you eating dinner with. You got to be careful about all that because if someone is not on your level, they can tear you down. And misery love company. At the end of the day, they might be pulling at you to basically just to be in your presence because now you're positive. You're making money. Um, Positive, making money. You get energy. They want to be in your presence, but they're not really good for you. Right? I had this conversation today with somebody about you're a public person. Like you're in a business where the community's looking at you,
Hmm.
right? So you can't be out here. I don't even know a good word for it right now. I mean, and it's just all about the choices that you have to make when you become successful. You can't do old things when you're new. You can't do old things when you can't
Because
do old
new
things when
things
you're
require new approaches.
yeah.
They would have to.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
and even with this the situation that we were discussing, like the person had like 75 excuses where why this was okay, and I'm like, but it's not. It's not. You're on a different level. You put in all this work to be where you are. You put in years to get to this level, and one mistake could cost you everything. So now you have to kind of pivot. You have to do damage control, like you. And I think, and I went back to. I even gave them the situation with and I don't know the full story, but I gave him the situation with Jonathan Majors. Like he even had a video where he trying to get away from the situation, but and he still got charged and convicted, and he lost everything he worked for. He didn't lose everything, but he lost a big chunk. And everybody's watching, right? And you're not a Jonathan Majors, but you could be.
Yeah, and some
You
sort
could be.
sense. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So motivation for you is having the extra source that's going to hold you accountable for the things that you
Yeah.
want,
People call
out
me
of
like,
life.
oh, listen to this story, that story. I get so much stuff from people, and I have to basically tell them the truth, right? What would I do? What would Angie do, right?
Hmm.
Right? I mean, I haven't always made the best decisions, right? But I wasn't born yesterday. I've been through the mud a couple of times, and I'll tell them like, that ain't what you want, right?
Hmm.
Especially when you work so hard to get to the next level, right? If you're
Hmm.
working so hard right now to get to
Hmm.
the next level, right?
Hmm.
Sometimes you need that self motivation. Sometimes you need the motivation from outside, like, um, but you have to look for it in the right places,
Right,
right?
right,
You can't
right,
look at
right,
old things
right,
to bring you to
right.
new heights, right?
Right.
Remember, we're
And
moving to
look for things
excellence.
that are sustainable, not temporary, because
Yeah,
you may be responding through something that may have happened to you
yeah,
when life is happening. And now it's an emotional
yeah,
response. So now you're looking for something different. And that's how I see sustaining motivation is through the works of other people.
yeah.
When I see other people
Yeah.
working
And not
and
looking at other people,
not looking
not
at other
emulating or
people,
copying. We're talking
no,
about
not in that sense.
yeah,
It's just seeing how people value themselves
yes,
and knowing and
yeah,
understand their own self-worth, no matter at what level they are in
yeah,
life, is so endearing, and it's so motivating
yeah,
to me, because it reminds me of how valuable I think I am.
yeah. I have
And
people.
you can see
Yeah.
that in I'm a people watcher, and I
Hmm.
love observing people,
Hmm.
and those who walk straight up, chest up. I'm like,
Yeah, confident,
that's I'm so
confident.
motivated in that moment.
Yeah,
Like, okay,
you better
they
you
doing
better show
something.
out.
I
Yeah,
know. So
you better show out.
that is what I
Hmm.
see as sustainable motivation. So when
Yeah,
I'm not motivated, I look out to see what will be visibly motivating
yeah,
for me, just to absorb some of that. The other part of sustaining motivation for
hmm,
me is people who hold me accountable, such as
yeah,
yourself, and people who will not let me say no when I need to say yes. And there's a
hmm.
difference, because sometimes we need to say no to stay motivated, and we don't.
No, my word.
Right. And sometimes we need to say yes when we want to say no.
Yes.
But it's in those moments, and I'm saying, I'm being real transparent, such as this right here, because I do not like motivation is being uncomfortable,
Yes.
and just taking yourself and
Yes.
elevating yourself.
Yes.
You have to be uncomfortable, but you have to be willing to give a little bit more of what's required of you, not wanted, but what's
That's
required
right.
of you. So we're now addressing the need, because somebody out there needs me, but they don't know that they need me
Hmm.
because they don't see me. And that's what
Yeah.
it's all about. That motivates me even more, to
Yeah.
know that I am constantly working in my purpose, but I'm passionate,
Yeah.
about the things that I'm doing.
Yeah.
And Coach Ange is passionate about helping her clients
Yeah.
elevate to the next level.
Just
That's
say,
what motivation and sustaining motivation is for me, and I'm for it.
yeah, I just want them to know they can the most part is I just feel I want everyone to win, right? And I know everybody don't feel like they can win.
Mhm.
But to me, you can win.
Mhm.
So people talk like you always talking about business, or you always talking about trying to uplift somebody, or that's just me, right? Because the people I had a friend, I have a friend, she lives in Columbus too. She probably gonna watch this too. And she gonna know. And she said that we motivate her so much because um it's a real person, right? This is a real person that she sat down with, that she's been in my home, that she know that has been successful. It's not she's not watching a celebrity that she doesn't know and giving them kudos. This is somebody that she know that has put in the work to become successful, right?
Mhm.
And I passed it down to my children, right?
Mhm.
And I passed it to my friends. And regardless if they're gonna take it or not, my kids didn't have a choice. But my
That's
friends
right.
and people around me, like they either can take it and use it, or they don't have to. I'm still gonna be your friend. You, my mama, I eat with you all the time. I'm gonna have my life over here, my life over here, but I'm
Mhm.
still gonna. If you in my circle, I'm gonna give it to you,
Mhm.
whether you want
Mhm.
it or not.
Mhm.
Like you don't want me
And
to give
that's
it
what
to you,
yes.
don't sit, don't come to eat out with me. Don't,
Yeah.
because I'm gonna say
Yeah.
you should be doing.
Yeah.
That's just my gift,
That's
right?
the push. Now that right there in itself is motivating to hear,
Right. Yeah.
because that's saying you have a heart of gold. You know,
Thank you.
I
Sometimes
have
they
these
people want to say that,
things,
but okay.
but I see it.
They
I
might be
can
like,
say
oh
that.
God,
I can say
I'm
that.
not gonna call her because I don't want to be held accountable for doing better for
That
myself.
mean they just not ready.
Yeah, but
They're
that don't
just
mean
not
don't
ready.
y'all can call me
You know,
if you don't
it's
want to
just
be
like
great. You don't want to be great.
when it comes down to it, is how hungry are you?
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
hungry are you?
If I'm telling
I'm
you
gonna
leaving money
give.
on the table, I'm like,
Yeah,
girl, you should
yeah,
be like, I can see you up here
yeah,
doing,
yeah,
and you be like, girl,
yeah,
I ain't calling her because she gonna hold me up. She
yeah,
gonna ask me why I'm not great,
yeah.
right?
Well,
I am gonna ask you why you're not great because you can
well,
be great, right? But if you don't
well,
want to hear it, don't call me.
greatness is a choice, but that's neither here or there.
Ooh, I like that.
And you have to be ready for it.
Yeah.
So if I'm preparing you this meal and you're not hungry enough for it,
I love
it's
that.
gonna be stale.
Yeah.
It's no good.
But my gift is I'm a messenger,
Yes.
right? Coaches
Yeah.
are disciples, right?
Yeah.
It's almost spiritual, right? So if I have this message for you, right? I'm that's my duty to give you that message, right?
Mhm.
Whether you take it and you use it, that's on you. But
Mhm.
I'm gonna give you the message that was told for me to give to you.
Right.
Because
that was
everybody
your
don't
duty to
get
do
it.
it. Yeah.
It's
yeah.
my duty
yeah.
to give you the
Yeah.
message. It's
Yeah.
up to you
Yeah. Yeah.
to
To take it.
to
Yeah.
take it.
Yeah.
If you don't want
ready or
it, you
not.
know what I mean.
Yeah.
You don't have to not be my
Yeah.
friend because I want you to
Yeah.
be great.
Yeah. And
Or I see your greatness.
right. And sometimes
Right.
people do like my mother always spoke greatness to me,
Yeah.
and I so
My mother did too,
appreciate
yeah.
that, because when I think about it, it still fills me up and it still drives
Yeah.
me and it still motivates
And you still
me.
remember the
And you
things that
still
you didn't feel
remember.
that were important when she said it.
Right.
But now you
Right.
sit back and
Right.
think like,
Right.
I remember when my mother said,
Mhm.
and I remember my mother. I remember,
Mhm.
and I went back to something. It was crazy because my mother passed away when I was, I think I was turning 45. But I remember within that year, maybe the year prior to that, she had told me something, and she was spiritual, of course. But she had said, taught me something that sat with me that she didn't even teach me till I was in my 40s, right? She said something that resonated with me. I'm thinking, like, all these years, I've never, ever, ever heard that. And I heard that from her. So she said, people, you look at the Bible, and let me tell you, my grandmother, grandfather, both sides, they were pastors and bishops. So I'm from the church, baby. Don't get it twisted.
Mhm.
So she said Bible, basic instructions before you leave earth. And I had never heard anybody, as long as I had been in church, had been grown, I had never heard anyone say that. But she the person that said that to me. Like,
Mhm.
that's
I
what
like
that, you
that.
know what that means?
Mhm.
Bible. I'm just
Mhm.
like, and just all of a sudden, she had basic instructions before leaving earth.
I
I'm
like
like,
that.
dang, I
Yeah.
had never ever thought of that. Many times you open the Bible and read the word, and been to church,
And that's exactly
and
what
like,
they are. Yes.
yeah, and I was like, dang, that even makes sense,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so I'm just saying, like, you go back, you don't listen then, but then you go back, like, I remember when she said,
Mm-hmm.
and it, so your
Mm-hmm.
mother can be your biggest motivator.
Yes, absolutely. So now,
She was my coach. My mother was my business coach, right? My business
Mhm.
coach, my friend. So,
Mhm.
and she taught greatness, and not just we shared our mother with many people that she poured
Yeah,
greatness to.
same
You
here.
gonna
Same here. Yeah.
either you gonna accept it or you not, but it's my duty as a coach. It's a gift. Coaching is a gift.
Mhm.
I tell you like, oh, I can see you doing that because I seen it. The message was for me to give it to you. I give it to you,
Yeah, absolutely.
and that's
Absolutely.
motivation, right?
And you deliver the message. It's up to them on how they receive
Yeah, I
it.
ain't gonna beg you
And
to be. I ain't gonna beg you to make
yes,
6 figures. I ain't
yes,
gonna beg you to make 7 figures, right?
yes.
I'm just
As
gonna
what we say today, you're on assignment.
Yeah, that's what.
Okay,
Yeah,
you
I'm gonna
delivered the
I
message.
deliver.
All
the
right.
message.
So all those things that
Mhm.
encompass your mom, you now have. So
Yeah,
it's your duty to pass it on to others, and
Yeah,
that's
it's
how
a
I see it.
gift.
It's a gift. Absolutely,
and I
absolutely.
taught in higher education, college education for probably 15 years, and my people will always say, and I career coach at this time, like, where do you see me? I would have students like, where can you see me working, right? Now it's like, where do you see my business, or but it's still like I'm like, I can just basically tell them where I could see them like being their best.
But it's like, where do
self.
they see themselves?
Yeah, and they say, and then they go and they in that field and they being great, and I love to see it, right?
That's motivation, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's
it
like,
is.
yes.
Yeah, whether you eat it or not. Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah. So this we want to come on and just give you some a motivational talk, like to let you know you can rewrite your story, you can pivot, you can shift, you can have your intrinsic or what's the other motivation, the other level. You can have, it can be internal or it can be external.
Mm-hmm.
It just all depends on how bad you want, how hungry you
How
are.
hungry? Listen, when you real hungry, what do? You go look for food, or you
Yeah,
go eat,
yeah,
or you go back and remember that you have something in the cupboard. So those words that you gave to
hmm
that person,
hmm
it's just stored. That's
yeah.
all.
Just store.
It's stored. But when they're hungry enough, when you hungry enough, you
hmm
go back to your storage and you eat.
Oh, I like that. See, that's why I got her on there. See, y'all need see because I don't say stuff as nice as Yamika, and as I don't perceive, I don't put it out there like she does. I'm just raw,
And
right?
that's okay.
I'm very raw. Some people can take me, some
I'm raw in a
can.
nice way.
You are, you are. So that's why we come on here. Make sure we're gonna have some sessions that are up. We are taking guests. You can be anywhere in the world, and you can come right on here and have a real conversation, real topic, business, life, beauty. Um, that's what we're here for this season. Motivated Melanin.
Hello.
Thank you, Mika.
I'm black and bold today.
I
I
know.
know.
I know. I got a t-shirt I'm gonna wear next time.
All right.
So
We'll get it.
thank you guys for joining us. Thank Yamika again. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, motivated me to come back and do another episode. Obviously, they need is a need, of course. And thank you for being techie. Y'all should see
I'm
her set
trying.
up.
I'm
She's trying.
trying.
She's trying.
I'm trying.
So
We're gonna work at it.
thank you guys. Catch us next time for another episode of Motivated Melanin.